Hello, a very warm welcome to today's session. Good evening to all of you. We're still waiting for a few members to join in. Just wanted to clarify something. In Pakistan, there has been an incident of internet submarine cable damage. So the cable T5, submarine cable T5 got damaged day before yesterday, because of which we are facing some issues
Yeah.
with the speed would have slowed down. So countrywide issues our internet connectivity. So just bear with us. We're still trying our best there may be a bit of struggle with it. So I'll appreciate your patience and help in this regard. So today is going to be your last session on business model canvas. Not It doesn't mean at all that your journey for thinking entrepreneurial, thinking startups, thinking business model canvas ends here. This is just the beginning, and this journey should go alongside your professional career, right? So if this becomes your professional career, nothing like it. But if not, if you're still convinced that you should be sitting in a bank doing a job, or you should be in a finance role in another organization, so be it. But you should continue thinking about these avenues, because I hope you remember Sajid told you about the big resignation. So the world is switching over to entrepreneurs. The organizations are looking towards, in fact, the individuals who are passing out now are more looking towards entrepreneurial platforms to, to, to unleash their careers. So that's going to be our, focus for conversation today. And then over the weekend, I'm sure all of you will continue to work on your business model canvas. Tehmina once again will be able to guide you a lot through through improvements in your business ideas, to make you think in specific directions which you might have ignored or didn't pay attention to. So Tamina will definitely be there to guide you in the right way. What we are aiming for is that, number one, you should have the courage, you should have the desire to present your business models amongst yourselves, and then improve them to the extent that you should not shy off presenting these to the outside world also. And close to the end of the program, when we come to the second section of business planning or business valuation, we will bring in people from outside, people who are known individuals in the field of startup of the startup ecosystem. We'll bring them in, and we will ask them to assess your business models. Of course, we will have to pick the best. So I could see a lot of debate happening yesterday in the group, where a person recommended or came up with a business idea of of psychological help, of people helping, or helping people, or counseling people in times of need. So I think that's an excellent idea. um, I would now hand over to Tehmina, and Tehmina will take you through the session. But today's session is more about you people. So I would encourage each one of you to take time out, try as much as possible to, participate by contributing verbally. Yes, the chat box and the discussions will be available, but mainly we will be looking towards you to share your ideas, to share your business plans, to be ready to answer questions, yeah, and benefit from this as much as possible. Um, so I think with that, I'll hand over to Tehmina, can you also explain to them the the presentations that are now available? I think Feroz would have uploaded them as handouts. Feroz, can you confirm?
Yes, yes, handouts were uploaded.
Yes, so if you can remove the orientation slide deck as well, and with Tehmina's permission, if you can upload today's slide deck also, and also place it on the Google Drive, the shared Google Drive, that will make it easier for everyone to access it. Okay.
Sure, it'll be done.
And finally, starting next week, we are going to switch our gears. We're going to move to technology. We're going to look at performance enhancement, your professional performance at work. We're going to see how to be effective, how to be exceptionally good with technology while you're at work. So there's some ideas that we share with you, but for today's session, let me hand over to Tehmina to take the session further. So Tehmina, over to you.
Thank you, Harun. And hello, everyone. So we meet again today, and I hope that we have a memorable time today with your participation, obviously. So let's discuss some of the key takeaways from the last session as an icebreaker, because today you will be required to speak up a little bit. So let's see who's there to tell me what were the key takeaways of the last session. Raise your hand. What did you learn from last session? Can you hear me? Amar says, I can't hear. So is any other people hearing me? Okay.
Tehmina, you
Yes,
are
Tehmina,
audible.
loud and
I think
clear.
it's Amar's connection.
Yeah, there can be a problem with Amar. Okay, so who's going to come up with the takeaways from the last session? Raise your hand. Let's do some ice breaking here. So, are there any hand raises?
Yes, Sayyid Asif has raised her hand.
Sayyida Asif. Uh, Firoz, can you unmute her?
Yes, Sayyida Asif is unmuted. You can mute yourself, Sayyida Asif.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, we started our discussion for the last session that how we should start our BMC. First of all, we need to focus on our customer segments.
Yes.
That which market we are targeting. Is it a mass market? And we have to basically identify the demographics that we discussed it already in our unmoderated session. And then moving on to our next section, we discussed value proposition, where we discussed that three essential, you can say a criteria, naming benefits of customers, why they should choose you above your competitors, and promise of what to deliver.
Right.
Next section is channels.
How did it help you? How did it help you?
Okay, first of all,
what were the key things that you learned from these 2 points?
Okay, first of all, when I prepared my BMC before this meeting, I didn't know where should I start, what should I point out first, because everything was so messed up. Everything is interrelated, but if you follow the sequence you have told, then it makes the canvas very easy to develop.
Okay.
For value proposition, I really wrote about 3 to 4 paragraphs, which were totally unnecessary. I mean, it was very important it to be precise and to the point. And now I've
refined them.
Yes, refined them.
Thank you.
Should
Thank
I
you,
move
Sayyida
on?
Asif.
Are you going to take other participants?
Yeah. So let's see who else. is there to tell us what did they learn from our last session? What helped them?
I'm Ghulam Farid.
So
Ghulam Farid,
is
you
there
can
anyone raising hand? Ghulam, I guess we can move on to next participant. I can
You
see
can hear me?
Mohammed
Hello?
Zahid Iqbal has raised hand as well.
Hello, you can hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, Ghulam Farid.
Yes.
Yes, yes, we can.
Assalamualaikum and good evening, everyone. I hope everyone must be fine. Actually, let me tell you something about the last session. It was quite informative and very
Walaikum salam.
brainstorming session for me. That I have learned how to start up. If you have a good idea and how to put this in a canvas, so eventually you can find the way to lead this business model. So by starting with the defining one customer segment, and from one segment then you can decide the all other areas like the value propositions and your channels. So it was quite good.
Ghulam Farid, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, so what were you saying?
I
Your
was telling
voice
it's
was breaking.
yeah, actually it was quite brainstorming for me that I have learned how to put a business idea in a canvas where you can find a starting point. It should be your target audience and target segment, and by just for the initial you can take one segment and then you can make all the others steps, like for the value propositions you can decide how you going to make your product very unique and attractive for customer. What is the different value in your product? Actually this is the main agenda that we are focusing, that our how we are going to give something very different, like which is no one is offering before. So this is quite very
Good to
helpful
know.
for us.
Are you working on your business canvas model now?
Yes, we are preparing and hoping so. On in coming Friday, we will have a lot of things to share. Inshallah, we are working.
Okay, so we are having some internet connection issues, as Harun already explained that to you. So we'll be bearing it for today. So let's
No problem. It's okay.
yeah. So Ghulam Farid, if I ask you, how did you refine your value proposition after the last session?
Actually, I already discussed my business idea. I am working for some agricultural trading commodities, buying from some farmers and taking to different markets for reselling them. So what I have seen, many people are already doing these kind of things, but what I am now taking it to putting some digital prints in it. So this is gonna add some unique value propositions, because from connecting farmers with markets and in between, I will use uh, the technology to bring up some unique values for me, for my business. So this is I'm going to
Right.
trying to writing in my canvas. So I will share inshallah when it will finish.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ghulam Farid. So let's see who's next. We have Mohammed Zahid Iqbal. He has raised hand. So let's get his brief view about it.
Thank you.
Mohammed.
I muted myself. Hope you can hear me now. Hi, everybody.
Yes, we can.
The last session was really interesting because before then we had a lot of ideas, but our thought process was not clear. So for me, the key takeaway was to change the mindset of ourselves to become more logical when we think about the business canvas or the business model on that we want to plan. Few of the things where we lacked earlier were like a lot of customer segmentation was introduced. The value proposition was more or less the same that are already being offered in the market. So, Ms.
Right.
Tamina, we are really thank you for the guidance, because when you were discussing the canvas model, it appeared to make perfect logical sense in terms of the things that are to be there.
I'm glad to know
The
that.
business, the value proposition should be disruptive, or it should have a cost. You should be a cost leader if you want to go by the cost on the cost strategy side. So the picture
Mhm.
became much more clearer to us, the way we should think about the business or any any business idea that we have, and how to put it into the canvas to make it in a way that is logically accepted by the audience, and not our only audience but ourselves as well. So these were the key takeaways from my side on the last session.
I think the Amina's connection is lost. Can you
Time.
guys hear me?
So now I'm back. Yeah, I'm back now.
Okay.
So let's move on to the assignments that we were time. And I hope so. I can see that many of you have come up with your business ideas and value propositions. So how about we start with continuing the assignment we were doing in the last session, and you can present your value propositions and channels like that you were doing in the last session. So who's up for that? So we'll pick the people who have raised their hands. And this time you are going to present us your business canvas model, value proposition, and channels. Just a brief summary of what you have decided for your business canvas model. So how about Shakil Ali? Yes.
Hello everyone. Timina, actually I could not attend the full session yesterday, the previous session, so I have tried my best to develop something. I'm still working on channels, but the value proposition which I was thinking about my model. Actually, my model was about management consultancy firm. I'm going to start my management consultancy firm in future. So the point which triggered me yesterday to think more about this idea that you told about the common mistakes we do while developing our business canvas model. That was selecting too many customer segments, and the other one was a value proposition is not innovative or disruptive.
Okay.
This was
Right.
the main point which triggered me to think more about the value should be added in my model. Then I wanted to provide legal and taxation services to different clients or customers,
Right.
different segments. So I was
Right.
trying to something that I came to know that the people who hire consultants, they don't get updates regarding their cases, their hearings, and their pending issues, which are subsidized already on different forums. The idea came to mind that I would develop an
Okay.
application of my business, and I will assign a unique login ID to customers who are approaching for me for services. Then I
Right.
will update on daily basis. If there is any hearing, then I will update on daily basis about their cases. Then they will have instant access to the update what have been done in yesterday's or today's hearing, or what are the next inspections, and what I am requiring further for the compliance with different authorities. Then I will develop application of my business also, and they will issue login access to everyone, every customer. They will have instant and first-hand
Right.
information from me. That might be using different
Right.
technologies like blockchain or other technologies are being used right now. So this is what I wanted to present today. Thank you.
Right. Right. So does anybody a question for? Do you have a question, Shakil?
No, I don't have question right
What do
now.
you think?
Just
The
I
question.
presented just I
Question.
presented my value proposition. You can ask if anyone has a question regarding my proposition idea, then they can ask. I don't have any question right now.
Okay. So if anybody has a question regarding Shakil's value proposition, please type in the question box. Okay, it means we don't have any questions. So audience, be attentive. You have to ask Shakil and other people who are presenting their ideas, because you are part of the startup ecosystem. Do not forget your role in it. You are going to help all the others and yourself by contributing and asking questions. So, okay, Saida Asif is saying there was too much voice distortion. Right. So, Shakil, why don't you do a small task for us? Uh, Present your brief summary in the question box. Just a brief summary of your value proposition in the question box for those who have missed.
Sure. I'm typing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Shakil.
will be very thankful if you add something and any idea or further improvement in my will proposition. Thank you, Tamina.
Thank you, Shakil. Yeah, Furkan, he's typing that. There was voice distortion and he will be typing in that. So who's next? Meanwhile, Shakil is typing his business idea and value proposition to talk about further. So who's up to present his business or her business idea? So we will be looking for a her this time. So Feroz, help me out. If there is a her here ready
Yes,
to present the idea.
Saida Asif wants to present her idea. Uh, Saida, you're
Other
on
than Saida Asif. Okay, let's unmute Saida Asif then.
Saida Asif, you're on
Today we
self-mute.
want everybody to give us their value proposition first.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can say that.
Okay, so my business idea is a type of career counseling, but in addition to that, I'm offering my customers. I'm starting from basically value proposition, but I can tell you my customers are basically high school students, O levels, A levels, metric, inter, and maybe dropouts, and their parents. So I'm basically, in addition to conventional career
Right.
counseling, I'm offering them an opportunity to try and test. It's a program where you're going to take a course you're interested in, and yeah, they're going to be
Right.
classes and assessment, and after that you may be able to decide that which field is better for you. Okay. Do
Right.
you have any question, or I should?
So how do you yeah how do you differentiate your value proposition into three things that we pointed?
Okay, first of all, it's an opportunity of trial, leading to saving your cost and your time, and helping you taking a rational decision. Also, in some cases, like there are few dropouts every year, and it will lead you to avoid demotivation in such cases. There will be career counseling, like the conventional methods. So after that, I mean, the counselor would have all the assessment of the student in his hand, and then the counseling would be more beneficial. So
Okay, so we have a question here. Is it going to be like app or web? What are
sorry?
you proposing? Are you going to design an app for this? Are you going to design an app for this?
Definitely. There's going to be app. There's going to be use of AI, obviously, because we need to develop a program that is going to offer a course based on the requirements of the customer, of the student, you can say.
Right. So that's your customer segment and that's your value proposition. And what are your distribution channels?
Okay, so distribution channels. Okay, definitely I'm going to use my website and app and social media platforms. I need to have surveys for that and research for that. My research, I'm sorry, I'm telling you this before, but research is my main key resource, my intellectual main key resource. So there are going to be personal telephone calls to parents maybe and to students themselves. There are going to be satisfaction survey, recommendations, career counseling, maybe virtual. I'm preferring to more virtual live sessions type of sort of things. So yeah.
Okay. So have you decided on the geographical area you are planning to cover?
Yes, I've after our last session, I've split it into phases. For initially, I'm only targeting students residing in Pakistan that are not interested in studying abroad. After this phase, I'm going to target students who are interested in studying abroad, and in my third phase, I'm going to explore other geographical other markets geographically. So,
right. Right. So Ariful has a question here for you. How are you going to use AI?
I'm going to offer automated services. They require continuous algorithms are run to identify the requirements of the customers, what they're interested in. For example, in my initial assessment, if I know that you're interested in physics and also arts, I'm going to offer you courses that are available, or maybe I might create a link or a certain programs. So there'll be continuous algorithm and working behind that to keep my customers attracted. And yes, for example, if there's a parent who has more than one kid, so my target is that I want to make all of their kids my customers. So I do need AI for that. How their parents are thinking, and yes.
So are you aiming for any key partnerships?
Yes, obviously. I definitely am going to need experts in the field. So
Mhm.
there are two kinds of experts. One who are going to help me develop the courses.
Mhm.
My courses are mainly initially for 5 to 8 hours. So, and
So
then they're going to experts who,
what sort of agreement
yes.
do you propose for them?
So I split into both contractual and permanent. I'm mostly targeting for contractual contracts,
Mhm.
but but I'm going to offer. I'm aiming at developing long-term relationship with institutes and universities and professors, because if they're teaching 10 students out of, I'm going to offer them 2 out of 10. Obviously, they're going to get students from there too, and
And
the
why would they
experts
be
will.
interested in having a partnership with you?
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm telling you, that I'm going to give them students from my area.
Mhm.
Sorry, wait for a second. I accidentally deleted. Sorry. Okay. So,
It's okay.
and there's a combination of pre-recorded sessions, self-study material, and a few live sessions. So yeah, I pay them to record pre-recorded sessions for once, and then there will be limited live sessions.
Okay. Okay. So anybody who has a question for Saida Asif?
Femina, there are multiple questions in the question
Yeah,
box. Do
I
you
can
want to
see.
read them?
Yes, sure.
Okay, Ariful Islam's question was answered. Then there is Aslam Muhammad. Aslam Muhammad wants to know, will you
Will
be
you be
affiliated
affiliated
with
with
colleges?
colleges? Yes, in my second phase, I will definitely, I'll be affiliated with schools and colleges. I have been.
Okay. So the next question was,
Ali Tanveer has a suggestion that he has been in this process and clients want the end results, which are being provided
that's
by
for
the major
Shakil Ali, I
consultants.
guess.
Okay.
That's related to the Shakil Ali value proposition, I guess.
Okay, Furqan Abdul Razak
So
wants to know, will be app be B2B or market? She has already answered that he will be targeting the market.
yes,
What about timelines? How your value proposition is disruptive? Shakil's question
yeah.
is
So
what time? I guess he's talking about his own question that Ali Tanveer asked. So at what time of signage you have a form to get an idea about them?
Yes, there's
Okay,
going to be a
Aslam,
form,
what?
and
Yes, Saida, you can
there is a
speak.
question by Mohammad Nazmul.
Huma Akbar also highlighted a very valid point. What do you have to offer to dropouts?
So yes, obviously, there's going to be a section for dropouts. They've already served some experience. I mean, they maybe have attended one semester, or maybe a year, or maybe they've done their bachelor's. There are going to be few students. I've seen people who changed their field altogether after even graduation. So yes, I'm going to target
Okay.
them. I'm going to be an initial assessment, and then further assessment, and um, customized courses for them.
Okay. Shakil is also asking you, Saida Asif, that is your value proposition disruptive? What do you think about your value proposition? Do you consider it to be disruptive, innovative, or in what category would you like to make it fall?
Is that question for my business idea or just my value proposition? I mean,
Your value proposition.
I don't think market disruptor for now, but yes, because I have there's no for now. My research have shown me that there is no company for now offering this level of services. So yet at some point I may achieve market disruption. I'm aiming for that, but I may be wrong. I'm technically aiming for a market disruption, but soon I might be facing competitors in the market that are not here now, but I know that once I launch this company, there will be schools and colleges interested in similar kind of businesses. So yes, I I'm aiming for that. Ali Anwar. Want to answer Ali. Any other question?
Yeah. There are a lot of people
I
offering
have a
unconventional trainings. How you will be offering something different? That was asked by Huma Akbar. So you also said that in future your value proposition can become disruptive. So what is that key element? Do highlight that.
So
What differentiates it?
at that point, I know that I would have a research of maybe if I've done that for maybe 3 to 5 years. I know it would take time for me to actually penetrate the market and establish myself. But maybe after 3 to 5 years, and maybe more than that, I would have a research as my main, intellectual resource that other companies may be lacking.
So you think
I
that
would
the other companies in this field haven't done much of research? So you think the problem lies with the research here? Can we say that?
not really. But I'm taking the first-hand research I've gathered myself, like the assessment of students, of how should I call that? I mean, I would definitely be proportionating that, but I would have maybe a research data of about 1,000 customers, 5,000 customers, starting from their own assessment of about themselves, and then assessment of their career counselors, and then my app would be telling me that how they're thinking, how they're evolving, and everything. So there's going to be a lot of research asset.
Tamina, are you there?
Yeah, but out that we will all
Tamina's
keep
back.
on, yeah, we will all keep on getting disconnected and then getting connected again. So we'll be bearing that. So I was saying, Saida Asif, do work on the key element that you are going to market as the differentiating factor. I guess you are lacking that a little bit. You need to explain that more clearly. So who's next to give their value propositions and talk about their idea? Okay, Ghulam Fareed, and who has raised Sarah Kafoor? Let's give Sarah Kafoor some time.
Hi everyone, good evening. I hope I am audible.
Yes, Sarah, you're audible. I think Tamina is facing disruption.
So in terms of the business
So
idea
Firoz,
that
can
I
you
have,
unmute Sarah?
Tamina, Sarah is unmute. She's speaking.
hi.
Yeah, Sarah, you can speak.
Yeah, okay. So the business idea that I have is in terms of the apparel sector actually. I'm joining in from Sri Lanka, and the apparel sector is one of our largest contributors to the economy here. And how the idea came about to me
Great.
is especially during lockdown or whichever it may be. I mean, if you consider lockdown as the example, suddenly every other person was
Yes.
trying to do a face mask business, for example. And it could be
Yeah.
any really apparel design or anything. So, but then you have so many people with brilliant ideas in terms of, let's say, what the let's say a garment is supposed to look like at the end state, but not really doesn't really have the knowledge of the entire value chain in terms of the supply, the manufacturing, right up to
Yes.
retail, advertising, and so on. So what I was
Correct.
thinking is, if we can map out the value chain from supply, like I said,
Mhm.
from supply chain to the end goal, and we
Mhm.
are able to, so we position ourselves in such a way, and we
Mhm.
partner with different people in terms of the value chain. So the very example that I give, if you consider supply chain, we will have several partners in terms of fabric suppliers. If you consider retail,
Okay.
we will have partners in terms of e-commerce websites, in terms of retail outlets like department stores. And then,
Right.
so basically the value that we add is, you could stand anywhere in this value chain and be an expert
Mhm.
only in one particular area, for example, fashion design, and we can
Mhm.
help you have the end-to-end model.
Right.
So that's basically the business idea that I have.
So what is the benefit? What is the key benefit? What is the problem you will be solving for the people here, for your customer segment?
Okay, so the problem, so who I'm trying to reach out to, for example, is, let's take an average person, or let's from anywhere across the value chain. If you take the supplier,
Have you selected mass market as your customer segment?
I have selected, yeah, so not mass market, more what I'm thinking is small to medium apparel retail industry.
Yeah.
So
What is the
mass, yes,
customer
but
segment? Mass market,
small,
right? Because for that
yes,
industry,
correct.
mass market suits you.
Correct, that's right. So for example, so the one of the advantages, for example, is if you look at
Mhm.
something like a retail outlet across the island, sometimes if you want to
Right.
reach out to them and be able to supply to them, small numbers won't work. It has to be mass market. So if we have more than one designer on board, and then
Right.
we can sort of leverage on that model, then we'll be able to play with the numbers as well, because we have the options for scaling as well. So
Right.
that's like the idea that I have. So
So
and
what
of
is
course,
your
this is
key strength here? What is your key strength here that you will be
my
capitalizing on?
my key strength will be, of course, so my key strength will be that I will be the expert across the value chain. So my customer may not be an expert
Right.
across the value chain. So my strength will be that I will be able to help you leverage and in terms of synergy, bring out a better product at more efficient costing,
Mhm.
reach bigger markets,
Right.
in terms of volumes, in terms of supply chain, and eventually expand to an area where we may be able to help you with your physical inventory, for example.
Right. Right.
That's the idea that I had.
Yeah, sounds good. So anyone has a question for Sarah? Although I asked a lot of questions from you, Sarah.
I'm
So
happy to
let-
answer if anyone.
yeah, thank you. So anybody else has any questions for Sarah? She has a great business idea and you can be the potential investors. How will she bring in customers, Sarah?
Okay,
So how do
so
you, yeah.
yeah, so like I said, it's across the value chain, and we will start at some
Mhm.
point. The starting point, for example, is I would look at, for example, budding fashion design students. Sometimes, I mean, a
Mhm.
fashion design program will, teach somebody at the end of the third or fourth year to be able to get something to market. But there are wonderful
Okay.
people with wonderful ideas in their first year itself, or sometimes with not
Mhm.
a full-on course. So that will be sort of
Okay.
like an entry point where we will maybe use social media and get into the industry and speak to people, and that will be the starting point where we offer the solutions and show the customers that
Mhm.
we can actually take your idea to market, and that will be sort of like the starting point.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you,
So
Tamina.
it appears you are doing a good work here and you are very near to realizing your dreams. So let's see who's up next. Who's next to present us their value proposition and business idea?
Furkan Abdul Razak, can you please raise your hand?
I will need a lot of questions for Furqan this time. So be attentive, listen to his value proposition and idea, and ask him a lot
Furqan,
of
you're on
questions. This time I am not going to be raising questions. I will be waiting for your questions. So Furqan, you're unmuted. Furqan, you can speak now.
Assalamu alaikum everybody, how are you? Can you hear me right now?
Furqan, you're audible.
Yeah, I'm speaking. Is everybody hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. I just wanted to first of all, thank you for the last class because it has changed my way of looking at the world. Since last class until today, it's around 48 hours, and I've been looking after what needs people have in their daily life. So I have chosen an idea that how people will get lunch boxes at their workplaces from home, and that will to from home to their business places. And the idea is the fresh cooking from home to their workplaces will be given in low cost, and the tiffins will be used that will be given to them. So this is my business idea. Hello.
Furqan,
Yes.
people are going to type in questions and I'm going to read out to you.
Okay.
A lot of you would have understand his business idea and
Mm-hmm.
type in your questions for Furqan. Furqan, in the meantime, can you please tell what is your value proposition in this
The
business
value
idea?
proposition behind this idea is because a lot of the people who are working around the business class, or you can say the working class, they have always have the problem to have the uh, lunch, proper lunch, or you can say when they take lunch with them from home to office, they normally don't have the facility to uh, have a proper lunch after having it. You can say microwaves are not available in offices, and proper facilities are not available with them. So if the lunch is being sent from home to office at around 12 o'clock, and they'll be having the lunch, and after having the lunch, their tiffin will be sent to their home through our riders, and that will also be on the low cost. That will you can say my idea is to support them in a low cost around 20 to 30 rupees, and I'm working on that model as well with bike and others. So this is my idea, and at this present moment people are looking for such opportunities because I have interviewed some of the people, some of the markets. I went there, I've asked the problems what people are facing every day. So this was the idea behind my thought. This was the thought process, and this was the working what I have done before selecting my idea.
Okay, Furqan, I want some clarity. You are trying to move their own lunch boxes to their offices. You're not cooking up food and packing it up and then
Yeah,
delivering to their offices. So you're
I'm just
basically
giving the facility.
providing a transport service. Yeah, you're
I am offering
providing
the
the trans.
facility.
And what is your geographical location? Are you based in Pakistan?
Yeah, currently I'm based in Pakistan, and I'm offering the services in Karachi right now. And I'm also
You're
looking to, yeah, because in Karachi there are a lot of working class working in multiple offices around Shah FSL, around multiple locations. And after that, I'll be moving towards Lahore because in these kind of places there are many offices, and people are coming from faraway places, and there are a lot of problems carrying for food and everything.
If you don't mind, can I ask how many customers are you dealing on daily basis or a monthly basis?
Yeah, I've around, you can say, what I've planned right now, that I'll be offering this first in the IT companies,
Said
because in IT companies,
you're already
sorry,
running this in Karachi. You said you're
no,
already
no,
running this in Karachi.
no,
Are you
no,
just
I've not.
planning to run?
Yeah, I'm planning to run this business.
Okay. And have you worked anything on the cost structure?
Yeah, I've also worked on the cost structure with the partners like Bikeya, because they are delivering the food through their bikers, and other people who are not employed right now, because some of the people are willing to participate in this movement right now, and they will be paid on each delivery they will be making every day. I'm also working with Food Panda right now, and they are also happy that this kind of idea they are having, like at this moment. But the challenge with Food Panda at this present moment is a time challenge, because normally at around 12 to 2 p.m. they are having multiple delivery orders. So I am planning to change some of the timings. What and the discussion is under way with the CEO right now, and we are working on the project right now.
Ashish, let me make another thing clear. You're trying to outsource this service to Food Panda, so you won't be looking after all the hiring of riders and looking after
No,
them.
Food
You'll
Panda
be
is one of
subcontracting this service to Food Panda.
no, Food Panda is one of the, you can say, channels. I'm hiring multiple channels. One is Food Panda, one is Bikeya, others are students and other people who want to join me on my site. Food Panda riders
And
can be used.
so you're in discussion with these channels.
Yeah, I have started discussion with these channels right now. So
Okay.
this
Uma has a
proposition
very
can be
Uma has a very valid point. How you are going to connect with your customers?
at this present moment. What I have expected and what I have done, I have first of all focused on IT companies, because in IT companies I have a lot of connections right now. Almost I have experience of 26 years right now, and I have multiple contacts with the CEOs and multiple customers. And where I visited,
Okay.
especially in IT companies, they don't have the food facility right now, and there are around 200, 300 people working at office every day. So what I have discussed with the CEOs and the administrative peoples right now, so they are willing to have this facility, and they've offered this to the people. And they are asking, I've given them the questionnaires, what they are just wanted to share, whether they will be requiring this facility or not. Till date, they have a positive feedback right now. They can have this uh, facility availed right now.
Okay, and
Thank you, Furkan. And I'm back. So I would like to point out one thing. I was listening to your idea. It's a good one, and it's good to know that you are doing some research about it, and you can launch a prototype business before going into in-depth launching of your business. So it's a good idea, Furkan. You can start initially as you have built some connections, as you have done some research. So you can start with a low-level prototype business. So
Okay.
have you decided anything about that? Starting from a low level, starting
Yeah, yeah.
using a prototype.
I've planned to launch this business in two companies right now. At
Mm-hmm.
one place, they are having around 300 people. At the second
Right.
company, they are having around 200 people. And I
Good.
have met both the CEOs right now, and they are
Good.
having the same problem. First, I have interviewed them on call. I've met them at the coffee shop. So they asked
Right.
me, what is your proposition and what you are doing right now? So I just asked them
Right.
that I'm working on the business model, and I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
about that seriously. So they
Right.
they thought first that I'll be giving them the food, no? So I just
Mm-hmm.
told them that food nature or food liking and disliking is, everyone person has a different food liking disliking. They wanted to
Exactly.
have the food from their home, no? I'll be giving them the surveys, and they are from the IT background. They understood the idea very well. So they
Right.
just ask me to pitch them and give them the form so that they can
Right.
have the input from their staff right now. So they are on
Yeah.
this process.
Great. So now you also know the basic advantage of having a business canvas model, because everybody is going to
Yeah,
ask you for one.
I'm very happy and I'm very thankful to you. I just told that since last 48 hours, I've been to multiple markets. I went to Kemadi, which is one of the
Right.
low cost market. I went to one of the
Right.
janaza there. I was
Right.
throughout the way I was thinking what people are looking at, what people is needing. So some was taking roti with them, someone was looking for
Yes.
masala, someone was looking for this.
Yeah.
So I got this
True.
idea. I got 3 and 4 ideas right now, which I would
Great.
like to have a
Great.
discussion with you afterwards.
Yes,
So
definitely. So do refine your idea and
okay,
submit your business plan. Then we will be able to discuss it further.
okay, great.
Thank you, Furkan. So
I would
who's
like
next?
to have a question if anyone have it. If anyone has a question, I can answer them.
No, thank you, Furkan. I guess you have answered all of their questions.
Many thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Furkan. So do we have anybody else who is ready to present the idea? We can see Babar Azam. I want to share my idea. And once you have shared your idea, please unraise your hand. Huma, Firoz will share a link with you, and then you will submit your business proposals on that link. So Firoz, can you unmute Babar Azam?
Yes, Babar is on self mute.
Okay. Babar Azam, you are on self mute. Please unmute yourself.
I hope I am audible now.
Yes, you are.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So basically, my idea is based on the area where I am living currently. I basically belong to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa.
Right.
The problem I always noticed that the working ladies, especially, and in general, all the ladies always face the issue of transportation. They have two sources, I can say, what we call in our local language chingchi, which is basically a rickshaw, or
Okay.
they have to accompany by their mail. So what idea I have that we should use. So I have designed an idea that why not develop an app like a Kareem and Uber, and
Okay.
that would be exclusively for females. Only female would use that facility, and also
Okay.
that cab would be driven by females only. So
Okay.
when proposition here is the first thing is safety,
Mm-hmm.
because I think what I have noticed that female would trust other females more.
Okay.
So there will be safety, they will get comfort, yeah. And other thing is the idea is completely new here. I have, what research I have done that only Kareem only operate in the city of Peshawar, so
Yeah.
the market is completely open for it.
Yes,
So that is
definitely.
basically my idea. Yeah, and I just developed the idea and working on the business plans.
Yeah. So we have a similar business idea like that already operating at a very small level. That's Pink Cab, if anybody has heard about it in Pakistan. And
Yeah, I
so
that operate in Islamabad, I think.
yes, So your
Mm.
idea is similar to that, but it will be restricted to the area of KPK. You have
Yeah,
selected that as your customer segment area.
yeah.
Okay. So what you are offering as your unique value proposition is you're offering them safety,
Yeah, and
comfort,
comfort.
because the drivers are going to be women.
Women, and they use rickshaw. Rickshaw is, in a sense, motor car is always better than rickshaw. So
Okay, motor cars,
comfort,
right.
psychological,
And
and physical.
all the drivers are going to be women, right? Ladies. You're
Yeah,
not going to hire you're not going to hire men for that.
yeah.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so how are you going to market your idea? How are you going to get your customers? What is going to be your channels?
Channels we mobile app.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
Uh,
Similar to Kareem and Uber.
Yeah, completely similar to that, but only difference is that it would be exclusively for female.
Okay, okay. So anybody has a question for Babar? He has a great idea, and I see a lot of potential here. Yes. Arsalan has raised that can you find the number of female drivers? That is going to be an issue for you. So how do you have you identified that weakness and how do you propose to overcome that?
Yeah, I know. I have always thought about it that it would be a problem. But what I have noticed that in KPK, a lot of females are now driving cars, and
Hmm.
second thing is there are very few opportunities for female to do some to earn some good money. So if
Exactly.
we use as an advantage,
Hmm.
so I think that uh, we will get reasonably many drivers for our services.
So Babar, can we think that you will be providing courses, driving courses to the females you are going to be hiring as well?
Yeah,
As you have said that you will be creating job opportunities. So will you be hiring females that do not know driving from the very beginning and you will be teaching them or giving them such courses?
yeah, definitely. Actually, I have worked in Kareem Aptabad as a supply
Hmm.
manager for about 8 or 9 months with the aim to just get in and see how they work. So
Hmm.
what I learned that they don't specifically provide driving driving training, but they do provide training on uh, how to they do provide training on the
Yes,
driver to how to
definitely.
safely drive, and
Hmm.
yeah, so
Yeah.
basic training
So
would be provided.
if I ask you to categorize your value proposition, is it going to be towards value creation or cost effectiveness? You are going to be minimizing the cost. What are you proposing here?
It would be basically as our target would be customer segment would be working ladies, so
Hmm.
uh, they can afford a little bit higher prices than
Exactly.
rickshaw. Yeah, so
So you are
we
working
were
towards value creation.
value addition. Yeah,
Yeah. If you are working towards value creation, then you will be able to add women empowerment as well in your vision.
yeah.
Obviously, because you will be creating job opportunities for the females as well in your area, as well as providing them with comfort. So your value creation can be towards women empowerment.
Yeah. I did that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great idea, Babar Azam. And I'm very much sure if you are going to launch it, you are going to attract some good investors. And consider me
Thank
one of that too.
thank you. And if I would really love it if other my other friends share their
Yes, definitely. So, any questions for Babar? Let's refine his idea. Let's give him some challenges to face. because he might not be thinking in those perspectives that you guys can. Arsalan says, in KPK, do you see a healthy number of females allowed to drive as a driver? That's a cultural issue. I don't think so. There can be an issue. You know better, Babar.
Yeah, basically, if what I have noticed that female are allowed by their caretaker, by their male, to do jobs like teaching, like especially in teaching, when they are in only women environment. So
Right.
if they know, if a father know that his daughter or his wife, husband know his wife is driving a car, but only
For female.
female only. So
Yeah.
I think it will not be any problem.
It will not be a challenge. Great,
Yes.
Babar. Okay, so security threat in KPK, how will you deal with this? Shakil says.
I don't think that there is any security threats here now. The situations are much better now, and even safer than big cities now.
Yeah, but you should always have a contingency plan. Don't you think that?
Yeah, I will definitely work on it, but at the moment when I think of security, so I would definitely work for it. How like if it in a sense that a female driver will be always on the road, so there will definitely we will develop a plan for them. If, for example, if her car get broken, so who would help her?
Yeah,
So that's
true.
develop a plan for it.
Okay, so you have a plan in place for that.
Yeah, there will be a team for it.
Okay, great. So Furqan has also asked, are there any tracking of vehicles like Kareem? Will your app be able to provide that facility?
Yeah, definitely. But even the female drivers, they would be registered with our app. That I know how Kareem do their driver registration, how do that security checks. So we
Yeah, because
definitely,
you have the experience, so you have a little bit of edge there.
yeah. So even the customer will be verified before when they get signed.
Great.
So their phone number, etc., that will be verified.
Great. Thank you, Babar. And let's hope you come up with a good business canvas model for us to observe, and we'll refine it then further. So
Thank you, Mr. Imran.
thank you. So is there anybody else who wants to present their idea? Because we want almost all of you to present some ideas here. So I can see Ariful has raised hand for quite some time now. So why not ask Ariful?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, thank you for the floor. So, very interesting idea, the last one. I had some few
Yes,
points
definitely.
would what would probably add some value here.
Mm-hmm.
Very unique idea, but the major challenge is definitely is the supplier who are the drivers, because I think in the South Asian context it will be very difficult to find
Yes,
female drivers. Another
exactly.
challenge is if you train up new drivers and then get them in under the wheels, probably law will not allow you, because the law would probably require somebody having some X number of years to be a cab driver. I don't know what
Driver
is the
license.
legislation in Pakistan,
Driver
but
license. Driver license.
exactly, yeah. So number of years of experience, I think, is important. So figuring out that problem is will always create some sort of scarcity of key suppliers who are female drivers. Society is also a challenge because they always will create some pressure to the drivers. So there are challenges, but obviously
They can
very
be
very
overcome.
innovative and
Yeah,
loved it.
once you know you have a
That can
challenge,
be
there is
overcome.
always a way to resolve
Yes.
it.
Great, great. Yes, yes. And what I was thinking is that instead of having the same business of model of Uber, maybe um, we can hire a customer for a month or fixed term basis. Maybe for female who live in the same area and have office in the similar area can join up together and use the same car, and that will probably give lower expense than a rickshaw. So these
Carpooling,
sort of
right?
ideas
There is
would
already a app working
exactly.
in this area of carpooling.
Yeah, Uber had the similar sort of thing ideas in Bangladesh. Didn't work out very well, I guess. But
We
obviously,
carpool,
when it
yes.
comes to
Arsalan
a
has mentioned
specific
it.
niche, yes, yes. This specific niche should be working here. I am sure if I had a daughter, I would definitely I would definitely want her to have a fixed car,
Yeah,
driver, and fixed companions to a destination, given the whole
yes,
society
yeah.
or whatever we see on the street. So yeah, very good idea. So congrats, man, really, really congrats. But I mean, my appreciation for taking such a big step,
Yeah,
and I wish all the best for the success. But can I get a
thank you, Arif.
floor to present my idea?
Yes, definitely. And I'm
Okay,
looking forward to it.
I've taken some note last night. Didn't think
Okay.
much about it after that, but it is something about education. I have been with the education sector for long. Uh, Actually,
Right.
it's very long now, and I'm still in the
Mm-hmm.
education sector. I'm not going to
Okay.
mention which company I'm working for, but it is in the education sector, and we are a very
Mm-hmm.
powerful player. But
Okay.
what the idea behind the business model is using the experience of uh, talented or high achievers of any course.
Mm-hmm.
Like in your
Okay.
life, don't you think? Like for example, last year I went for IELTS. I had
Mm-hmm.
uh, I had like a preparation for 2 months, and I had a band 8. Could have
Okay.
been more, but it was band 8, and I was very happy because. But definitely within 2 months, I
Yes.
have learned a lot of things. I have went
Yeah.
to many websites. I had my own tricks, and
Yes.
I knew a lot of things, and I had a lot of information because I don't use the word knowledge anymore. But I
Yeah. So
never
it's
had a
also about
chance to share those things.
yes, definitely.
Yeah, and at the same time, I mean, same principle goes for ACC or any other courses. Like obviously, like you can hear like somebody could have done excellent
Yes.
in SBL and probably after a year or two, he or she will probably forget everything what or she has learned. But
Yeah,
she
that
could have
happens.
provided enormous help to the students
Mm-hmm.
who are preparing for the next session, right? So,
Yeah.
very, very different way of thinking. But I think this model does have we have this business model, but it does not work uh, in a very harmony way.
So what do you propose?
So what I am proposing is a platform. Could
Mm-hmm.
be run through website or definitely a application that both can
Mm-hmm.
be accessible, where
Mm-hmm.
where these mentors can be there to help students who are going to sit for the exam in maybe 6 months or maybe in a week time. So what is the
Right.
business model and how it is going to make money? Uh, so there will be two platforms. One is free, and that will attract
Okay.
some crowd, and there will be
Okay.
a paid subscription models and some and another model is like hour basis payment. So like if I
Okay.
can hire somebody for 1 hour session, and after that 1 hour session, that person can take another session, or I can take a full
Mm-hmm.
month subscription. It's a very
Okay.
good business model because that will, I think, help a number of students who are struggling because they don't know how to do well in the exams, At the same time, the business model would help a number of high achievers to
Yeah.
share their knowledge and obviously at the same time make extra money. And obviously this model can be worked at any time. So even
Yeah,
if
and
the
you
high
have good
achiever, like say, if
intentions
I
behind that
were,
model as well.
yeah. So you can understand that will help the society to a great extent.
Yes.
And obviously, since there's a freebie model here, there will be a crowd always. Like if I go for say I was speaking, for example, then there will be like always hundreds of people who are there and speaking in English. And obviously,
Yeah,
we all know like unless or until you pick up, you will never be fluent, right?
exactly.
That gives people an opportunity, free opportunity to be there. And
Yeah.
when people are there, obviously they will see there are other offers, there are some other paid options, and there's a very high chance that people will actually take an hour session, take some
Yeah.
expert help,
But you do
and if
understand,
somebody
Ariful,
fall in
that
love, they will probably get
yeah,
subscription.
but you do understand this fact that
Yeah.
at this very beginning stage, there are going to be a lot of challenges that you will have to cater for. I mean, your idea is marvelous. It
Yes.
has the potential, obviously. But what I see from here is there are a lot of aspects that can easily create hurdles and problems for your idea. So you have to figure out them. For example, one has been pointed out by Furkan, how the platform will ensure that the resources, mentors are guiding correctly, or what are the quality checks.
Right.
So this can be
Yeah.
a problem.
So for that reason, yeah, this will be an issue, but obviously the best thing is about rating. Uh, Obviously, when selecting the resources, the validation can be easily done by the exams. Like obviously, if you hire the world's highest achiever of ACCA, say F8, it is very less likely that that person will guide something wrong. I mean, especially
Yeah.
in terms of like
And why would that
say
person
audit
get
procedures.
connected to you? How do you propose to invite that person to join your platform?
Well, we can always figure out who are doing well in country level and in internationally. That persons can be contacted. At the same time, since I am in the education sector and I have got many friends and younger brothers who are still providing education service. So for the first bits, I can always use them for the IELTS for any education. Say let's assume it's ACCA. Say in that case, like I know like I know at least 50 people who are actually
So you're
teachers
going
at
to use
different
your
levels.
personal connection. We
So
can say that.
definitely that will help.
Yeah.
But obviously
that
the
will
best
certainly help.
thing about it is that both students and the resources will be ranked, and that will be I mean that review will always add some sort of validity or some sort of acceptability of both student and the resource.
Yeah, sounds good. So Ariful, we will be expecting a business canvas model on this idea from you.
I don't know whether I will go for it. It's just a random idea. It just came into my mind for in 7 minutes that you gave.
Because there
And I
can
wrote
be
a number
hundreds of
ideas.
ideas that you can be thinking about, but when you put it on a business canvas model, that's the point where you realize what is the potential of your idea.
I actually did put in the canvas model.
Okay, that's great.
So
Do
obviously
share it with
you
us.
can understand the value proposition. Yeah.
Yeah, we can understand that, and it has a
You want to
potential.
hear it now, or
No, share
do
it.
you want to hear it, or you can?
No, share it on the link the Feroz is going to share with you. Then we will be able to view those plans.
Okay, sure. Actually, I have given that in last session's conversation, and I just read it in the chat box. So I will probably type it in again, and I will give a better version in the next time.
Okay.
Thank you, Taimina.
Thank you, Ariful. So who we have next here, because we are going to give time to everyone, and we also have a summary for validating your business model that we will be discussing at the end of the session today. So let's see who's up. Zahra Aziz. We have Zahra Aziz with us. Let's hear her out.
Assalamualaikum. Can you hear me, Tamina?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, actually, the first thing is I just want to add some the problem solving thing regarding that gap in the lady specific model that because of course I think KPK has a lot of other than male and female, they also have some transgenders as well. There's a huge community over there that's growing, right?
Right.
So they can. There's a point that transgenders have a almost similar capacity regarding the time limitations, or maybe somewhat the you can say energy you required. So yeah, so they can use them, they can train them on driving, get them licensed, and then use as a service provider for his business model. So his basically the
yes, good idea.
Yeah, his input for his business would be expanded rather than specific going for the female specific. Of course, for example,
that's a good suggestion.
Even that will also fill the gap. I mean, if you his motive is to create value, so it should be for the whole community rather than only for the females, right? And
it
on
will
the other
promote inclusion as well. So it
yeah,
doesn't have to be only about women empowerment. It can cover the inclusion part as well.
Yeah. So basically, of course, I see most of the transgenders are basically looking for decent jobs. Unfortunately, they are not educated enough, or even though they are educated, they have to, settle for some substandard jobs. So by this means, there would be two group of genders would be, ultimately all of the people would be benefited. I mean, rather than just females. So that's
and this
my
way
one.
he will be able, yeah, that's a great suggestion. And this way he will be able to differentiate his brand as well.
Yes, that will enhance his value.
Great idea, I would say. Yes, definitely.
So that would work as a maybe as a marketable, more his product will be more marketable, more input would be available, and so yeah, so I guess that would help him eventually.
Yes, so I think he will be considering this idea and this suggestion from us. Yeah, good one, Zara.
Thank you. Apart from this, I presented my a little bit. I mean, this is a very basic model I have prepared on that canvas. It's already in place, but yet I haven't earned much from that resource. I can present it as well, but yeah, I just need a little support from you and other members as well, because it's basically a digital platform. Yeah, it is. I presented it in one of our previous sessions. So what I'm struggling with is basically I'm looking for digital marketing of goods and services.
Right.
So through Facebook primarily, and Instagram, not yet on Instagram, but yeah, trying to look at that domain as well. So I want some support how to reach to the suppliers or input for my business. I mean, if some for affiliate marketing, it's just to copy the link from any site and I can put it. I'm basically putting it on my page. But eventually someone reached me for a supply of some gas or electric oven or etc. For the supply, there was a remote location, so they didn't have any access to that in that area, so they reached me out through my page. But unfortunately, I did not have that supplier base with me to facilitate the customer. So I'm looking for ideas on that domain, that how I can build that base, that I can cater goods as well as services, because marketing services is an easy task other than, and also supplying that is an easy task, because there are a lot of consultants who are basically floating their idea on the internet. but there are few for business, and good based business, product based business is a technical thing in terms of supplying. So if you have any idea, I'll be very thankful.
Zara, I would like to clarify one thing. I was thinking your main business idea is to provide digital and marketing services for the for different companies. Is that correct, or is it something else? What is your key
It is
component?
basically, yeah, my key component is connecting the suppliers and customers. For example, yeah. So basically, once anyone can reach me out. I mean, I can be a third-party supplier. I mean, subcontracting, for example, if I'm getting it from like outbound, for example. So it's basically connecting them, but through my platform. That's
So
my
what
page.
is your customer segment? Your customer segment is going to be the supplier or the customers coming to you
No,
in
consumers.
seeking the suppliers, the consumers.
Yeah,
So
consumers.
you are not charging the suppliers.
No, not yet.
Okay, so you will not be marketing them as well, or will you be?
Basically, I'm marketing on behalf of them. Now, if, for example, if I'm doing affiliate marketing on my page, right?
Right.
So whenever someone go to that link and purchase from them, then I'll get my commission out of it.
Okay.
This
So
is the
you'll
purpose.
basically exactly got that now. Okay, that's your main business idea. So
Yeah,
have you put it on the business canvas at the moment?
Yes, it is on, but it's basic. I can show it.
Okay, have you identified your customer segments clearly?
Yeah, they are.
Yes, sir, Stilan, the idea is to connect suppliers to consumers.
Yes.
Okay, so what are your revenue streams?
1 second, let me. Okay. So basically, my revenue streams are supply. Basically, its revenue stream is basically getting a share by marketing supplies. Second is by marketing services, and the third basically is service provision from by myself. For example, like if I can offer some, for example, CV making service to the end customer, right? So it's a multi-purpose revenue stream and multi-purpose page that's basically providing the needs, whether it is by connecting supplier to the customer or whether
And
it's
what are your
providing
customer segments? Zara, what are your customer segments? Because I think there is a gap between your customer segments and your revenue streams.
Can
So
I
what are your
show?
customer
Can I
segments?
show you my model?
I think so. Feroz, can Zara share her model?
Yes, I'm gonna make her the presenter. Zara, you can.
My screen
Okay, I
visible to
think.
you?
Yes.
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah. So basically, this is the model. As far as I got to, and I unfortunately couldn't attend the previous session, but the before one, the first one I've attended on this thing. Yeah.
Tech-savvy customers, knowledgeable group of people. But
So
again,
basically,
it's quite broad. You have to narrow it down. Did you attend the session where we explained how to segment your customers?
No, it was, I guess, on Monday. Unfortunately, I
Yes.
had a meeting, so I couldn't attend it.
Right. You can attend the session in the recording.
Okay.
So it will give a very brief idea about how to go about your business blocks, because there has to be a link between all these blocks. That's why I was analyzing that there is a gap between your blocks. They're not connected. They're not well connected with each other.
Okay. Okay.
So do go through that recording and fill this up once again, and then we can discuss it in the unmoderated session as well.
Sure. Sure. Thank you.
And if you have any questions, you can message them to me. You can share
Okay,
them with
sure.
Feroz, and Feroz can share them with me.
Okay, sure, sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Zara. Okay, so I guess we have considered all of the business models till now, the people who were saying that we want to present. So Feroz, you can remove Zara from the.
Feroz, you can change the presenter.
So is there anybody else who wants to present? Or we can move on to the brief summary. Feroz, is there anybody else who hasn't presented and wanted to?
Let me check.
Ariful has already done it. Furqan has done it. Ghulam Fareed, I guess, have done it.
Yeah, Ghulam Fareed requested that he has a not-for-profit idea. He wants to share that as well. I think if
Another
there
idea?
is, yeah, he has another idea.
So, Ghulam Fareed, why don't you share your plan with us and we can review it and then we can discuss it in the unmoderated session. Thank you, Ghulam
Mohammed
Fareed.
Iqbal,
So,
please raise your hand. We need to discuss these slides as well.
yes. So that's why I was saying that let's wrap it up here. So,
Okay.
is there anybody left? Any new person left? Because I guess everybody has presented at least their a summary of their ideas. Feroz, will you guide them how to share their assignments and ideas with me? And then we can start with the presentation.
Yes, the recording link that I have shared with you guys, you can access the Google Drive through that link, and there is a new folder named as Business Canvas Model. Submit here. That is the exact name of that folder. You guys can upload your models in that folder, and I'll provide the same link to Tahmina so she can review your models. If
So
you guys want me
let's
to.
move on to the presentation now. And I must say,
Feroz, you have to give them instructions on naming conventions also. So if they're submitting their models, they need to submit this with their names and registration IDs so that we can identify them.
Yes, please ensure that your model is against your name and your registration ID, ACCA registration ID.
so I guess everybody has that information now. And I'm really amazed to see your hard work here. I am amazed at the moment. There has been a lot of participation and there are a lot of great ideas here I can see. So I will be expecting that at least 16 people have to be selected among you. So there have to be at least you should try, all of you should try at the moment to submit their business proposal, business canvas models. But at least I am expecting 16 great ideas from you. So let's see. And I'm hopeful about that. And you have done a very good job at it. So let's move on to the next part of our session today. And do we have the presentation? Yes. So we are going to discuss the essentials of business model canvas now. So today we are going to discuss actually how to validate your business canvas model blocks and how to tell your story. I'll give you a brief introduction about that, because definitely if you're making a business model canvas, you will be thinking why it's so important for us to build a business model canvas, and why not just go on to launching the business and just haphazardly planning the business and then moving on to the initial launching phase. So let's see why it's important for you to validate your business model. It's going to be quite productive for you if you have a business model canvas, because it's only then you can validate your business ideas. So if we say, in the words of Steve Blanks, he says, you may be smart, but you are not smarter than the collective intelligence of your potential customers. So do remember that sometimes we do consider ourselves smart, but it's always necessary to gather that information from the perspective of the customers. And it perfectly reflects the importance of validating a business now. You need to make assumptions about how you will create, deliver, and capture value, but you also need to validate those points through the testing, talking, and measuring phase. There were a few ideas in today's discussion, and a few people have already started testing their ideas. That is a good sign. But for others who haven't done that yet, let me tell you how to go about that thing. So let's move on to the slide number 1, Feroz. The next slide, Feroz.
Yes, just a minute.
Yeah, thank you, Feroz. So step 1 is, how will your startup deliver value? The first part of validation is actually about understanding how your startup is going to deliver value to its customers. You essentially here just need to validate 3 core ideas. What your value proposition is, you already know that. How are you going to create and nurture your customer relationships through that? We already discussed that. And how will the customers be able to access your startup now? So your value proposition shouldn't be a singular benefit to the customer, but a core value you are looking to offer. And remember that good value propositions are about performance, customization, or as we discussed, it can be about the design or price or cost reduction or value creation. And some of you have already identified those things. So in terms of customer relationships, I would say your focus needs to be on solving how you will acquire, retain, and upsell your customers. Do focus on that, because many businesses make the mistake of focusing just on acquiring new customers and forget about the importance of maintaining customer loyalty after the first purchase. So you should focus on retaining as well. I would like to quote an example of innovation can help non-profits identity adjacent opportunities. During the Ebola outbreak, Doctors Without Borders, you must have heard about it, developed an educational game app that helped to teach individuals about Ebola and adjusted social behaviors for safety. Well, at that stage, it gained over 1 million clicks on social media. And later on, this same app was modified to aid members during the COVID-19 pandemic. So that's how they used the same customer base and retained it. So that's an idea for you to also consider. So how can you validate these core ideas that we have just considered? So let's move on to the validation point. In order to validate your value proposition, your customer relationship, and your customer channels, you only need to talk to the actual customers. So mark it here that you can have your direct contact with the customers. You just have to contact your actual customers and conduct thorough market research. It's important to pay attention to understanding what the customer pain points are. Focus on those pain points. As someone today said that, I guess it was Ariful, he said that while I was walking around in the markets, I was noticing the pain points of the customers around me, of the people around me. So focus on those pain points that you can gather through research, through your observations, or through your interaction with actual customers, and how your solution is actually going to solve them. Now, there are 3 clever ways to validate these assumptions and to talk directly to customers. You can conduct a market research with the customers. You can talk to customers about the pain points and demonstrate how your solution works and obtain their view on this, whether the customer actually thinks you will be able to remove their pain points. So this will help you create a minimum viable product. And what is that? We will be discussing in a while now. So the third thing is you can receive feedback. Use it as a validation through queries, interviews, and surveys. So you can generate survey size, landing pages, or cold calling. Some of you have already mentioned that they have conducted surveys. So that's a good point, and that's a way of validating your business. So you start doing that as well. As a reference, I'm pointing out Strategizer. There are many posts, there are many blogs by Nabila Amrsi. You can check that as well. So the step 2 we are going to do is in validating your business model. Step 2 is the next slide, Feroz. So how will your startup create value? So this is the thing we are going to validate now. So what you need to do is validate your ability to actually create value. So what you are validating here is your ability to create value. Your attention turns to these core issues of resources, activities, and partnership this time. So you must answer only 3 questions that you have already answered in your business canvas model. So what are those questions you are going to be validating? Who are the partners that your startup will need to work? What are the things that you need to do in order to generate things such as your value proposition? What are the specific resources you need to generate value? So in order to validate these points, the startup has 2 great options. And first is to launch a minimum viable product. So what is a minimum viable product? A minimum viable product is basically your prototype, your first point of contact with your customers. It will not use much of the resources. As you can see in the diagram, you can see a skateboard. That's the minimal viable option. And then you can convert it into a bicycle, and then you can convert it into a motorbike, and then you can convert it into a motor vehicle, motor car. So see, that's how you move along. So that's the right way to do it. So that's how you do with a minimum viable product. So develop a minimum viable product. This will allow validating all 3 sections we have discussed above. It will outline what resources you need in order to create the solution. You will be experimenting with your product. It will show what strategic partnership help or hinder the process. So it is again going to help you understand your partnerships as well. It will make it easier to understand what activities you need. So key activities will be identified through this process. So at this stage, you could also begin validating the core points through a limited launch of the product or service, as we were discussing in the business ideas given by many of you. So what is going to be the step 3 in validating your idea now? Let's move on to the next slide. So the third step is, how will your startup capture value? So how does your startup aims to capture value? The final step to validating your business model deals with your ability to capture the value you have created with the previous segments. So you will essentially need to figure out whether your startup has chosen the right approach to making a profit by reducing fixed costs and maximizing your gross profit margin. So what you're looking for here is, you're looking for a connection with your value proposition. If your value proposition was to reduce profit, so the validation will be, were you able to do that? So there are 2 core issues to validate at this point. Those are, what does the cost structure of your startup look like? And the second thing you are validating are, what are the different ways you can generate revenue? So this is a very important step in your validation of business canvas model. So now you can see that that was the reason we were building up the business model canvas, because if you have a business model canvas, now you can launch into the testing phase. And testing phase is very important, because testing phase is going to tell us the strength of your business idea. So how do we validate this step 3? We can do that by validating directly with the customers, as discussed above. What you are going to do is, with the creation of a minimum viable product, you have an idea of the cost structure of delivering the solution to the people now. So you will now pay attention to your customer service channels. You will identify the marketing routes you need to take in order to acquire customers. So by talking to your customers, you will learn more about their views on pricing as well. That's how you are going to structure your revenue streams. And now you will also further use service and competition pricing that you have done already in the above step 2, and this will define your revenue model as well. So you can just validate your market, you also need to ensure the market is willing to pay for your proposed solution, because if the market is not willing to pay, then your minimum viable product is going to fail. And we are not concerned about that very much at this point, because we know we haven't invested many of the resources yet. That's the whole purpose of creating a minimum viable product. So if you don't achieve traction, if no one is willing to pay for your product, you haven't actually have any problem with your value proposition, because you can change it at this time. You have the scope to change it at this time. You don't have a real problem actually, because the real problem would have been if you had a real customers, and the customers were not willing to pay you, and you had invested a lot of funds, then that would have been a real problem. But at this stage, at this testing phase, it's not a very big much problem for you. Therefore, testing pricing points is important at this point, I must say, and it can be done easily in focus groups or with the help of a simple landing page. You can create Facebook pages for that, and it can help you a lot to analyze your business prototype. And I have been doing that with all my customers as well, and all my projects for which I have been working as angel investor, especially the home-based businesses projects. I always advise them to come up with a Facebook business page and then start with that. So that's a great point for you to start testing your business. So what we have in the cycle is basically you define, test, and correct. So validating a startup's business model is reliant on key three behaviors, we can say: defining, testing, and then correcting. So finally, the critical thing to realize about a business model is that it cannot be set in stone. And I have been saying that from the very beginning. Do not fall in love with your idea. Always keep plentiful ideas with you. Keep on testing them and keep on correcting them. When you are validating your core hypothesis, you might notice that things require refinement at every point. So don't be afraid to go through with this process and change your model. Be flexible with it. The best thing to remember is that failing early is much, much better than failing late. So it can be helpful. So this is one way we can be testing our business model canvas. So let's move on to the next phase. Next slide. If anybody has, yes, I have a sample business model canvas for you. You can follow this for those who are unable to come up with a business model. So I have given you a sample business model canvas here, which is related to the career readiness program. It's an app. Can you move on to the next slide? So here you can see I have identified customer segments, which are parent college students. It's one single segment as I propose for you. Customer relationships and value propositions. Okay, so first of all, you move to customer segments and then to value proposition. The value propositions are very clear. You can see children win great jobs in careers of choice. Now that's what we are proposing through this app. Validated career planning advice, engaging gamified mobile learning. So people who are planning to launch an app related to career counseling or something like that, this business model canvas can prove very helpful for you. So you can see that each and every block has been clearly identified here, and you can get help from this for refining your own business canvas model. So what is the next step? As I told in the previous sessions, that the first thing you do is you come up with your business canvas model and then you try to validate it. It's very necessary that you have a validated business canvas model with you. Why? Because if you are looking for investors, they will be interested in hearing your story, and you won't have a story if you don't have a validated business canvas model. So how to tell your story? So we have come up with some simple steps to tell your story, and let's look into that. Can you move on to the next slide? Telling your story. So what are the basic uh, elements that we should be focusing while telling our story? Do consider one fact that we all know that stories are what make us stick as human beings. We are very much interested in stories. That's something that amazes us as human beings. We imagine our lives as a story as well. And why is that so? I would say because doing so gives us meaning and purpose. So we can say stories help us feel like we are part of something bigger than ourselves. So that's why most of the time we all like hearing stories and making up stories. So telling powerful stories about who you are and how you help your customer makes you stand out from the competition. That's the only way you can do it. So knowing your story gives you a new energy. No longer will you have only a bottle of distilled passion, but a constant wellspring of inspiration from there. So in the fall, let's watch out what are the do's and don'ts that you should be following and you should not be doing while presenting your story, and then I'll guide you how to present your story in easy steps. So what are the do number one is tell your business model like a story, one scene at a time. So that's very important that you convey your whole business model canvas in a way of story. So that's what we will be expecting from you, that if you are going to be presenting your business canvas model towards an in front of an audience, what you should do is bring it up in the form of a story. So how do you do that? So let's see how to develop a business case model in the form of a story. Next slide, please. So there are 4 easy steps for you to follow, and that's your story. So step 1 is visit your business heritage. And what do we mean by that? So before telling the story of where your business is today, it can be very helpful if you dig into the past. This gives you a sense of being part of a bigger story and provides you a direction and inspiration for your day-to-day work. So you don't have to narrowly look at the history of your own business idea. You can just tell the story of your personal past too. Get into it, start narrating your personal past, how your idea was developed, how it's important to you. Some people we often hear say that I knew that my grandfather had worked his way out of extreme poverty. So that becomes an interesting start for the story, and that's your business heritage, that now I am also inspired to be the best and I can be in my own business. So everybody has some inspiration. Do look into that business heritage. So what can be those questions that you can ask? Do listen these questions carefully and you can implement them in your business heritage. You can answer how and when was your entrepreneurship journey started. Start with this. And then who are your business heroes? It's very interesting, and we are always concerned about listening to what the person who is telling us that he or she once had some business heroes. So what do you find inspiring about them? Also discuss the struggles that you have overcome till now. How did the idea emerge stronger from those struggles? So that's the key point that you will be discussing. So what was the first product or service you sold? Yes, for example, I can still remember in my school days, the first product I sold was actually a cake bake sale. So I still remember that, and I was very much happy about that I was capable of selling a few muffins in the bake sale. So that was my first sale, and maybe in a way it might have impacted me to become an entrepreneur in the future. So you can always use those small steps that you took towards becoming an entrepreneur. So incorporate those into your story. So that's how you come up with easy ways to visit your business heritage. So the next step is step 2, inject purpose. Now, both stories and businesses, they both need a driving force to push them forward and keep them moving. So your current business story is driven by your elevator pitch. And you remember that. Sajid must have worked it with you, your elevator pitch. So use that. This summarizes what your business does and what makes your business a unique character in the broader story of the marketplace. So this way, your business goals provide additional forward momentum to you. Well, your goals are the challenges actually that are going to shape your business story. So while you're injecting purpose, you're making it attractive for the investors. So the next third thing you are going to do is add values. Well, values will add another dimension to your business story actually. Values are very essential to all the storytelling, I must say. In any story, we want to see how the hero will overcome the challenges he faces. Isn't that so? We always focus on that we are always keen to look at the challenges the hero or the anybody the story is revolving around is going to overcome. So while staying true to your values, you will be introducing them into your business. So your goals drive your business forward while your values keep your business rooted in a deeper purpose. For example, we were discussing an idea for the ladies car business. So what was that? The key element could have been women empowerment or inclusion for the transgender. So that's a very key element that adds value to your business idea. So do connect your business ideas to some values. Now, the fourth and final point will be weave together the narrative. The elements of your business story are like the scenes in a play. Remember that. So it's up to you to weave them together into a compelling narrative. When you are going to write it down, make sure with each block you present it in a different way and you weave it into a single narrative story then. So what are you going to do is your story is going to play usually in the day-to-day running of your business, but it's going to cater for all the blocks separately. You should be incorporating all those blocks one by one in your story. Do not bring all the blocks together. Do not go about telling the whole business plan. Just start from one block and then move on to the next, and then keep on narrating your story with that. So no matter how good you are at keeping your eyes open, do remember there will still be monsters that blindside you, and there will also be golden opportunities that seem to appear from nowhere. So the nature of story should be magical, and the magic lies with you. The magic lies with your values. The magic lies in your purpose. So once you put that magic into your story is going to be a very great idea for the investors and the customers as well. So what you are required to do is enjoy your story as it unfolds. Remember, you are in control of your story. You don't get to choose all the challenges, that's a fact, but although you are not in charge of the threats, but you do decide how to react to them. Reactions are in your control, although the challenges are not in your control. So make contingency plans by validating your business ideas, and that's your power, and that's what power a hero is going to reveal in the business story. So you are going to be the hero of your business story. So that's how you are going to narrate your story in a compelling way. So are there any questions related to this? About the story, about the validation of the business idea? The slides will be shared, the slide deck will be shared by Feroz, and you will be able to access them. So I guess there are no further questions for me. Okay, so let's move on to the last slide. That's your assignment actually. Feroz, the last slide. So here is your assignment. You have to submit your completed canvas and tell your story. Well, it's required for all of you. Each and every one of you is going to submit a completed business canvas model, and then the 16 of them will be selected. And definitely, in order to get the certificate at the end of the session, you are also required to complete all the modules. So make sure all of you submit your business canvas models. And the next thing you can do is, as you can see, you can make a video of your story, and then it's up to you. You can put it on the Facebook or YouTube. It's up to you if you're interested in that, or you can just use it to analyze how magical your story seems, and then you can review your story after the recording, and then you can be the judge of your story by your own self. So that those are the two tasks I'm appointing you. uh, Make your story and complete your canvas model. So that's all for today. And do we have any questions? Can further elaborate point 4? Point 4 of the story, Furkan? Can we go to the story slide? Yes. Yeah. So I was there, point number 4, the previous slide, the weave together the narrative slide, the easy steps. The previous slide, Feroz. Second last. Yeah, this one. So the fourth step was weave together the narrative. Now, once you have visited your business heritage, once you have injected the purpose, once you have added the values, what you are going to do is, one by one, you are going to bring all of these things together. Yeah, it means you are going to connect your building blocks of the canvas one by one, and you are going to bring them together. So actually, weave together the narrative means you are going to summarize your story now. So what you are going to do is, you are going to bring your each building block and connect them together one by one. So for example, when we say add values, you can talk about your value proposition here. When we say visit your business heritage, you can talk about your business idea, your customer channels. And when we say inject purpose, then you can again talk about your value proposition, or how your value proposition is going to fulfill the needs of the customer segments. So see, these story ideas are going to help you to talk about your building block one at a time. And this is also giving you an opportunity to personalize it. You're bringing in your own values, your own struggles to connect with your blocks. So that's how you're going to give it the magic. So I hope I have answered your question. So that's all from my side for today. I guess there are no more questions. The slides will be shared with you, and our time is up. And it was a really great session. I enjoyed a lot. And honestly, I'm telling that it was a very, very good session. You guys have plentiful ideas, and I'm very hopeful for you for the future. So thank you very much. And I would like to conclude it now. And good luck and best wishes from my side. Bye bye.